April is Earth Month, and with last year being the hottest on record, we wanted to know how the changing climate is impacting us here in the U.S. So for the next few weeks, we'll be bringing you reports from the front lines and hearing from top environmental experts. Today, Keith Kosinski heads to the Arctic to break down what exactly climate change is.
The effect that humans are having on the world right now, it's not a natural thing.
I feel like there's this gap between where or how much we're willing to go to care.
Our generation is the one that has to fix the problem for the future generations.
Planet Earth. Pretty cool view from out here. As of right now, this is our home, and it's all we have. It probably isn't news to you, but things are changing. Temperatures are getting hotter, and 2015 was the warmest year on modern record. And it's in the Arctic, where it's easiest to see and measure. I'm in one of the coldest and most remote places in the world to see firsthand how global warming is changing this place. And even though it's thousands of miles away from most Americans, it may have a bigger impact on you than you might think. Global warming is causing our climate and our world to change. See, for millions of years, the Earth's climate has gone up and down, cycling from ice ages to warmer periods. But in the last century, the planet's temperature has risen really fast.
Since the 1920s, we started seeing warming, and then since the 1980s, that warming's been unprecedented in the context of the last several thousand years. It used to be that we thought that climate would affect ice sheets and ecosystems and centuries or millennia, and instead we're seeing it all happen in decades, and I think that that's pretty alarming for the scientific community.
Ever since the Industrial Revolution began in the late 18th century, factories, power plants, and later cars have burned fossil fuels, mainly oil and coal, which release large amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat from the sun, causing our planet to warm in what is known as the greenhouse effect. And we're at the highest levels of carbon dioxide in millions of years.
The additional warming that we've seen in recent decades is almost entirely human-caused. You know, it's warming really rapidly compared to the episodes of warming and cooling that we've seen in the long-term record. There is no other way that science can explain it other than increased greenhouse gases.
Okay, but is a warmer Earth really that big of a deal? Well, yeah, because the climate is changing too rapidly for humans to adapt. Some studies suggest subtle changes over decades, while others predict there could be catastrophic changes in just the next few years. The Earth has already warmed almost halfway to what scientists say is a tipping point for climate change, a 2 degrees Celsius rise in temperature, or 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Warming beyond that tipping point could multiply the effects of climate change, heating the Earth even faster, causing sea levels to rise and flooding coastal cities, changing weather patterns to create stronger storms and more severe droughts. And that can affect the food we're able to grow, where we can live, even our health. It's such a concern for officials here that the Department of Defense has listed climate change as a threat to national security.
Let's talk about climate change.
All of this with the global warming and a lot of it's a hoax.
And while American politicians might debate over the cause of it, most scientists don't. At least 97% of climate scientists agree human activity is warming our planet and causing our climate to change.
It's actually fairly ironic that if humans didn't exist on Earth right now, we'd actually be heading towards an ice age.
And most Americans agree. In 2015, Americans' denial of climate change hit a record low, 16%. Now the argument is how to slow it down. Environmentalists say drastic changes in how we provide energy are needed. Economists say small changes could work. And a lot of that responsibility is going to fall on this generation. So we wanted to know just how climate change is already affecting Americans.
Right there, there's usually like flowers and stuff there, and that's all dead.
Because they can't be watered?
No.
It hasn't been the same. We haven't been able to have our normal day lives that we did before the storm.
So over the next few weeks, we'll take you where our research brought us, from the ice to the desert to the sea, to see how climate change is reshaping our world and our future. Keith Kosinski, Channel One News.
And to learn more about climate change, head to channel1.com. There we have exclusive behind-the-scenes video and some amazing footage of Keith's journey. All right, after the break, we're leaving the Arctic behind and heading into space.